I'm Adele Racker, and I'm here at Legacy Community Arts Center in Topeka. We're located on Lane and near 6th Street. And right now, I'm working with acrylic oil paint on a picture that I did rather rapidly, and I'm going to go back and do some touch-up on it.
How long have you been painting, Adele?
No, on and off for probably since I was in high school.
So did you have art training in high school or after you left? Or?
I went to a very large school in Skokie, Illinois, and we had an awful lot of students. So you really were in a class with a bunch of students, but really didn't get any attention at all. So I took 3 years of art classes in high school, where at the time they were into modern art, and some of the stuff was not very classically trained for art students. So it was splat and splat type of stuff. So other than that, I think I took a course in college, 2 courses actually, and then other than that, most of it has been on my own. So I'm not really good at following directions and reading in a textbook, so I just do whatever comes to me.
Well, what is it about art that attracts you? What does it do for you?
It allows me to do things that I kind of excel in more than other things, and I've not been the smartest person around, so it helps with my confidence level and allows me to create things that other people like to look at.
Well, I totally agree with you. I'm wondering what your opinion is about just how art affects people in general, especially in times that are difficult. What is it about art that we need as a society?
I think art makes you focus, and when you focus, you have to let go of all the other things in your life and focus on what you're doing. And that relieves some of the anxieties and things that might be going on. Usually, a lot of times, I get in a space where people walk by and talk to me. I don't hear them. I'm just off in another zone. So I think that's really important to do that, whatever it is, and it can be this or it can be other types of art expression.
I've been looking around at your art, and it seems like you prefer to do things that are natural. And you talked about being classically trained rather than being a modernist or...
Yeah, well, yeah, if you didn't do modern art when I was in high school, it was a taboo to do classical art. So yeah, I prefer for more realistic stuff.
Where do you get your ideas?
A lot of times, sometimes I have to do something like it's getting close to Christmas time, so I usually make a card, so it kind of forces me to start looking for things that I like to draw for a Christmas card. So that's that type of inspiration. And then the others are, I might see a picture that I really like, or sometimes it's like I really need to go ahead and do something, and I'll just take whatever picture I have and start in on it.
I see. I know you've had an exhibit at the Fellowship before. Have you had other exhibits?
I've showed art in down in Arcadia, Kansas, which is southeast Kansas, and I showed art in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Also did an art exhibit in Cottonwood Falls. That's other than legacy, that's it.
Do you like doing exhibits?
Oh, it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I don't like, I mean, I like to put my pictures up and, you know, if they like it, fine. If they don't like it, they don't know my name.
Well, good. What are you working on today?
Well, I was I take another art class just for educational purposes because I don't know some of the basics. And so we were in a class and we had to do these birch trees, and so we were told we had about an hour and a half to do them, and so this is the result of an hour and a half's worth of work. Probably not all it was done in painting, but you had to draw the picture and then go ahead and paint it. So I'm going back to touch up the areas that look to me that like they really need some help. So that's what I'm doing now.
I've also seen you doing a lot of sewing when you were sitting in the second row there at the fellowship. Do you consider that art to yourself, or?
Well, I make my own dresses because I like to be comfortable, and a lot of the clothes out are not real comfortable to me because everybody has different sizes and it's hard to find things that fit. So I do a lot of hand sewing. I also do what the French call petit point. It's like a cross stitch, but it's not actually cross stitch because there's variances in it. It's not all just cross stitch. And so I take on a task of doing a picture. It usually takes anywhere to 3 to 5 years to complete. Because I do it on, well, like we were sitting in the doctor's office, or if you're have time on your hand where you can do the stitching. That's about the way I do it. But I have to sit down and I draw it out on the type of Aida material that you use cross-stitch with, and then I go ahead and start cross-stitching it and then changing it. I do all kinds of stuff with it. It's probably not supposed to be done, but it gets done.
In regards to painting, how do you know when a painting is done?
I don't.
It looks like you keep working on one.
Somebody was a Monet. He had his paintings up in the Louvre, and he kept on coming back to finish his painting. Well, that kind of feels like me. I get it up and put it in a frame and think, oh shoot, I needed to do this. So
I understand.
I think a lot of times I ask my co-artists in here to tell me when I'm done.
Well, that's a good idea. Well, I know we have several other artists that attend or have attended in the past fellowship. Are you acquainted with them and their work? Or?
Not really.
Did you know Janet Bailey?
Yeah, I knew her, and she came and taught at Legacy for a while. And so she taught before she moved. So I knew of her, and I knew of her paintings. And I saw an exhibit or two over at the library of hers.
She did the cover for one of the books I wrote. So I'm kind of familiar with her that way. Well, let's see here. Oh, do you think artistic talent is innate? Or do you think anybody could be an artist?
I think anybody can be an artist.
Really?
I think it's, first of all, if you really want to do something, you have to focus. And that focusing helps you focus and practice. Just like playing piano, you have to continue working with it. It's not something all of a sudden you can do it right. It's a continuous type of thing.
You have to want to, though.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You have to want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll watch you paint for a few minutes, then we'll turn the camera off here. Unless there's something else you'd like to add, or Walt, anything you would like to add? a wonderful interview.